Well then, this is a walk around video for an absolutely beautiful car. This is a Lexus CT200. It's the top of the range Premier model and a facelift version, one of the first on the 2014. Just 58,000 miles, full Lexus service history on the vehicle, and a lovely, lovely car. Really nice styling on these new front ends. Car's just in fabulous condition. Near side, absolutely smooth in the panels. Near side front alloy, very good. Just the tiniest of marks. Remaining panel work, exceptionally clean. Camera in the back of the car, all bumper corners, really nice. Again, revamped rear end on the car, looks fantastic. Down to the off side of the vehicle, driver's side. Again, beautifully smooth in the panels. Wheels here in fantastic condition. Really, really is a lovely, lovely car, this one. Externally, I mean, there will be the odd microscopic mark on the car, but you have to look pretty hard to find one. Comes to the boot area, good sized boot on the car, beautifully finished as expected of a Lexus. Nice to see a load cover there, which obviously protects the carpeted area underneath, which looks pretty much as new. Coming to the back of the car, full black leather inside the vehicle, and it is in absolutely beautiful condition. Coming in the front, on the passenger side, see electric seats on the vehicle, front two seats. Leatherwork, absolutely stunning. Finally coming in on the driver's side, again door card immaculately clean, same with the footwell areas, and driver's seat again in absolutely superb condition. Inside the car now, as always I have the engine running for this section, so the dash can be seen illuminated, and what a stunning interior it is. You can see there, sat nav working perfectly. Pop the car into reverse, get that lovely clear gridded parking camera, all working exactly as it should there. But it is simply superb, and it's in just stunning condition, really is. When they come across the main dash binnacle, again a fantastic dash, and that's the dash you get when you're in eco and normal mode. Twist at the right, you then get the red hue and the rev counter, but it just looks, sorry, it's like shaky hands. Hopefully you can see 58,998 miles. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all whilst the engine's running. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus CT200, and it's the top of the range Premier model. This car's registered HG14KNA, and mileage currently showing is 58,991. The reason for doing all of our videos, and especially this road test section, is basically to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they actually get to see the very car we advertised in operation. The reason we feel it's important, as I always say, is because, like so many people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs and descriptions, only to get there and drive them and find out that there's a fundamental problem that shows up as soon as you drive the car. So hence that's why we do it. Also done on these very quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, and the hope is then it will be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, and it really is, as it says in the walk around video, it's just a lovely, lovely car in every way. And I openly admit I'm completely biased. I love these cars, always have done. But I'm going to go through it as I go through all the cars step by step. Starting with the kind of now referred to as power units on cars, so engine and hybrid system. Press the power button, it starts whirs silently into life. There's no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. The hybrid system is just brilliant. Being manufactured by Lexus, it's going to be incredibly tough and reliable over enormous mileages with regular servicing. But it's also just a lovely way to propel a car It's referred to as a kind of a self-charging hybrid system, which is correct. Basically, for those who don't know, you drive this car and own it like any normal petrol car. You're going to run low on petrol, you can stand at a pump for just a couple of minutes, fill up, and on your way for another 400 or 500 whatever miles. And that's it. You don't run out of battery, you don't have to plug it in, you don't have to charge it up, because every time you back off the throttle or hit the brake pedal, it replenishes the battery. So it's relatively small, it's not reliant on the battery to get the car going. So just to give assistance, low speed and battery mode only, so it's not, doesn't need huge amounts of recharge going into it. But the way it works together is utterly brilliant. It's all but seamless. You can hardly feel it in operation. The car gives you 3 modes of driving, by the way. You've got an econ mode or eco mode, normal mode and sport mode, and they're pretty much self-explanatory. The car always starts in normal mode. So on the dashboard it's got a blue hue. You've got what they call a power meter, which tells you how much power is being supplied by the battery. If I go and twist this little button to the left, I'm now in eco mode, and it feels softer on the throttle pedal, slower to go forward. It's good for around town if you want to really maximise your economy and battery usage. But if I twist it to the right, suddenly the dashboard's got this lovely red hue. You get a rev counter appear instead of the power meter, and throttle response is completely different. It's instant, it's urgent. It's a lovely setting to be in, I have to be honest with you. I think it suits the car perfectly. But all of those functions working exactly as they should. The engine then feeds through into the CVT gearbox, which is brilliant. And you know, it still irks me every time I watch a road test of these, when you get people in and they shove their foot down hard and the engine revs up and they say, listen to that droning away. Well, yes, it does for about 1% of your driving, because most of the time, if I put my foot down now, I can get the engine revs to pick up, back off the throttle, but I'm already up to my speed. So you can accelerate quickly, engine picks up, but it's hardly there. Slip roads on motorways occasionally, but that's what it's designed to do, because at all other times it makes other cars feel so clumsy and clunky, because it's completely seamless. There is no gear change. So low speed manoeuvring, town driving, it's in a different league to virtually any other car in this class. And on the move, it's just wonderfully smooth. It just doesn't jar, which you get in normal cars, like coming to a stop or slowing down here. In other cars, you'd feel it kind of, the gears changing, then it would be trying to work out what gear to go into next. This doesn't, it just wafts along, it just deals with it brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. All the functions of the gearbox, all the functions of the engine working absolutely perfectly. So coming to the steering and the chassis of the car. Steering the car, first and foremost, the track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations or sort of wobble at any speed at all. The steering is lovely. I always say with the SCT200s, they've got a very good front end on them. And what I mean by that is it really is keen to change direction. Steering is really nicely weighted. It's got kind of a heft to it without being overlight, which I hate in modern power steering systems. And it's just, you know, as soon as you get in, there's a keenness to the car in every way. And the steering is very much part of that. It's very precise, very accurate in the way the inputs go in. So you need minimal movements to get the car to move. And then the chassis, which gives you a very compliant, well-judged ride, because it's, you know, slightly more sporty than your normal Lexus. But when you go through the corners, it delivers. It's got good balance. There's little in the way of body roll. Corners nice and flat, and it flows very nicely through corners. So if you're in the mood, it eats up corners of varying radius really, really well. And there's no clonks, there's no rattles coming from underneath the car. It's all in fine order. I'm going to give the brakes a good shove here. Leave this braking for the last second. That's a really good brake pedal on the car, nice and solid. No pulsing or vibration coming back through those at all. And then finally to come inside the car, which again, I just love the interiors. And the reason I love them, as I say in the advert, is you very much sit in the car, yet you don't feel as though you're it's oppressive. You don't feel as though you haven't got good visibility, because you have. You've got brilliant visibility, actually. But when you sit in, and it's such a cliche with most manufacturers, you feel at one with the car, you feel in a little cockpit, it's all, and then you find out you're not at all. It just feels like any normal car. This doesn't. It actually feels very, very special indeed. And I've always struggled to explain why, and I still struggle to this day. But what I love the fact is you've got the detailing for all of the switchgear, the lettering, the lighting, the labelling, the actual controls themselves, the tactile feel of them, the stitching around here. This is slightly higher up, so you feel as though you're in that part of the car, and it just sweeps around in very much a cockpit type feel, and a beautifully, beautifully made one as well, I have to say. These are sensationally put together cars. It really is quite a special car inside, I have to say. They've done a lovely job on it, and everything's working exactly as it should. You've got the sat nav there, slightly lighter inside these cars because you've got this lovely electric sunroof on the top of the range car. Then you've got the dual zone climate control system, which is pumping out absolutely ice cold air, and you can have different temperatures side to side if you so wish as well. Then you come down to one of the best stereos you'll ever have, the Mark Levinson stereo. So if you like your music, it is brilliant in terms of sound reproduction. You've got your little mouse control for the display up there, which actually works better than most. Your hand naturally falls onto it. It's ergonomically very well designed. And then, as I said, you've got this fantastic dash display in terms of the binnacle. It's relatively minimalist. You've got a big speedo in the middle, flanked by either the power meter or rev counter, depending on which one you select. And then you've got a small information pod on the right hand side, so it's not cluttered in any way. The detailing again is absolutely fantastic. It is, you know you're in a premium car, because just the little bits of that they put onto there, they kind of it's like a Smith's watch from years ago, in terms of the way it kind of feels. So that's just the parking sensors going off, by the way. It's a, I know beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and it's personal opinion, but I just think it looks fantastic. Same goes for the steering wheel, nice chunky, thick rimmed, leather bound, and like the rest of the car, in absolutely stunning condition in here. Absolutely stunning. It's not even been cleaned yet, and it just hardly needs it, in all honesty. It's just wonderful. As I said at the start of the video, it's only brief, but it's literally just to show the car operating and to feedback on any obvious issues. It's nothing at all. It really is a very, very, very special car that drives faultlessly.